It's Galentines, and it's time to get your friends together to love on each other. In today's episode, I am going to break down from inviting your friends, creating the menu, setting a beautiful table, setting a casual table, and even making a beautiful flower arrangement for your centerpiece. So let's get started. So we're going to get started by inviting some friends to your Galentine's Day party. I'm going to show you a sample text of what you want to send to everybody if that is the way you choose to invite everybody. So let's get started with that. So we're going to add some hearts emojis because the invitation, actually for the Galentines, we're not going to use red. We're going to use pink hearts because we want to make it super cute and not red. Red is for like couples and stuff. So I like to add emojis because it sets the tone of the event. It's kind of like cold and rude whenever you just send a text. Like, add some fun stuff to it. So I'm gonna add also a purple heart because I want to. Let's go to some emojis here. Ladies, it's time to celebrate love, friendship, and all the amazing women in our lives. Join us for a festive Galentine's party with a fun Mexican-themed twist. And the reason I'm going to add Mexican-themed, you can do Italian, you can do American cuisine, you can do any kind of theme you want. What I'm trying to recommend is that you start with a potluck. That will help your budget. It will let everybody bring something fun. And so this particular example, I'm going to show you how to do one for a potluck. So we're going to do the date. The date is going to be, I'm going to say February the 13th. And then I'm going to say time is 6 p.m. Okay. And then I'm going to put my address, 123 America Way. And then the city, and then I'm going to put RSVP. That's very important that you put RSVP. So I'm going to say, by text, please, and I'm going to put my number. Okay? Now, then it says, this is a potluck party. Let's spice things up by bringing delicious Mexican-inspired dishes to share. You need some ideas? Here's some options. Then you go in and add all your addresses. Again, I like to add some hearts. I like to add some fun, like I'm going to add a Mexican hat or a Mexican flag there on the emojis. Right next to celebrate, I'm going to add a little celebration emoji. Next to love, I'm going to add a red heart. Next to friendship, I'm going to add the little emoji for friends. And all the amazing women, okay? In Galentine's Day party, I'm going to go back and I'm going to add the pink heart. Just because you want it to be fun and inviting, you want to make sure that you're communicating in your actual text the theme of the party. You can get as creative as you want. You can create a beautiful little invitation on Canva, attach that as a photo inside your text feed, or you can just type out the details and send it on. You can even go and print some invitations, send them in the mail, or use any one of the actual internet invitations. I'm going to teach you how to make a floral arrangement just like this one, plus one that looks like it came from a floral shop. Let's get started. My first step is to go get your roses from Costco, Sam's, grocery store, but make sure and try to go a couple of days before your event. Get them out of the packaging and straight into some water. You might even ask the florist or wherever you get this from, can I have a little black bucket so I can put water in that? If not, I have this hurricane vase that I use for candles that you can put water in, or anything that you have will work, especially like pitchers for tea and all those kind of things. So let's start by taking one out and be very careful when you're pulling these off because some of these leaves are very thorny, and make sure you take care in dealing with these stems because again they're very, very thorny. First thing you want to do is, you can see all these little beat up edges here. Take those off, like just clip them off to the very back of the rose underneath because these are the ones that get the most abuse from the farm. So then you want to just take your finger and roll that around just like that and give it some permission to breathe. Once you get this in the water, make sure the first thing you do is cut that at an angle and then put it in the water and give it 2 or 3 days in order to blossom. You'll see that these will start opening up and be so beautiful. So I'm gonna show you, we're gonna always cut these at the knots if you can. Remember, you can always take more off, but you cannot add it back. So we're gonna start from the center point. You wanna take one of your roses and make sure at the center point that it's your highest point. This one seems a little high, so I'm gonna go back down. And I'm gonna take that right around there. So let me show you how I do this. I'm just gonna lay these around in a circle. It does feel a little bit wonky when you're starting because they feel like they keep falling all over the place. But I promise you, if you just stay with it and be patient, they will support each other. So you wanna lay these across the edge of your container, whatever you have. You wanna make sure that you only do odd numbers, okay? And I've pre-counted these and pre-cut these for you, but I can just start by layering the outside and then I just start building in on the inside. And the ones in the center are gonna be your taller ones because we want those to be kind of the tip of the whole arrangement. And so I'm gonna take these there. Once you have them in there, remember you're starting by going around the edge and then you're just gonna add these out. You can see here how these are the bigger openings. Let's take these smaller ones and exchange them for the bigger ones because I want to move this little gal over here and I want to take this big fluffy one and put her in the center because she's so beautiful and she's so full. So this one also is very full, so I'm going to take one of these smaller ones and I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to take this smaller one, put this one on the edge and put this in the center so that we have that beautiful bloom right in the center. You can see how pretty that is. So on most of your flowers that you're going to bring home from the groceries, you are going to have rubber bands on the bottom of the stems. I want to get this all placed first. Okay, you've got it nice in place, and then I cup it up underneath very tight. Okay, you want to hold that almost like you're holding a bouquet. And then I take this rubber band and I just run that around the stems twice, right up at the base of the flowers. Because for me, ooh, let's be careful and not break that. For me, I want them to stay in place. So I'm just gonna hold them together, see? This can also be like a little bouquet. And if you do want to make that a bouquet, you take these stems and then wrap them with the green floral tape. But anyway, if you put that in there like that, they'll stay together and they'll stay in place for a long time. So that is how you make a little fresh cut rose arrangement. Next, I want to show you how to use baby's breath, which is super inexpensive, to make a beautiful centerpiece for your table. What we're going to do, these are $4 per packet on average. Some places are more, some places can be less. But we're going to literally take this big bundle of baby's breath and we're going to cut it all the way down to fit inside these containers. Now, we're going to take the taller pieces and keep those in the center. And the thing I love about baby's breath is you really can't go wrong. You can use this, if you use it in quantity across and you use a lot of it at one time, it truly does make such a statement. So if you're on a budget and you want to still have like a really beautiful arrangement, get yourself some baby's breath and make yourself look at that. Isn't that so cute? Make yourself a beautiful arrangement. I have these 3 containers together side by side, but I'm gonna show you something. Let's make a few more arrangements. The fuller they are, the better, or you can make them a little bit less full and more dainty, whatever you choose. Put those in there. If you wanted to go taller, you can set up the taller ones in the center. If you need more height for wherever you're going to put that. If you put the 3 of these together like this, you have the most beautiful centerpiece. Now, I want you to see this for a minute. and I'm a little bit about like making sure everything has its flow. So you can see this huge gap right here. So I'm gonna find a piece that is on a tall stem, and I'm gonna set that right there in the center, because I want this to be the centerpiece. That's a little too tall. Remember, you can always take off, but you can't add back, so just clip a little at a time. Do you see how pretty that is? I love this so much. You can even, which I've done in the past, take some beautiful ribbon and wrap this here with a little tiny bit of glue in the center so the bow stays. You can also set sticks with bows in them right here. You can clip on all kinds of clip-on earrings that have the big, huge rhinestones on them. You can clip those there to bedazzle the little containers that you have. So anyway, there is, for $4, maybe $8, I've made 3 beautiful arrangements for the center of my table. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to make an arrangement that looks like a professional florist did it. All right, first we're going to start with this kind of foam. This is floral foam. It is not styrofoam. It is floral foam. And the reason it is different is because it soaks up water. So you want to take any container that you like and fill this full of water and let it soak in. I know it recommends that you let it soak for a couple hours, but we're going to show you this now. I just fill, because this is going to be what actually feeds the flowers while they're in your arrangement. The other thing I want to recommend is that you water that frequently. I love doing these kind of arrangements because they are so beautiful, and this flower foam actually holds the flowers beautiful. So here we go. We're going to start with a center point, okay? I want to show you first, I think I already showed you in a prior video, but you want to take these, when you get them home from the store, take them out of the packaging. I want you to cut the bottom of them off. I want you to do it 2 to 3 days before your event. Cut that bottom off so you have a fresh new vein to soak in the water. Put it in water, leave it for 2 or 3 days, and let these babies open up. Then once you do that, we're going to take off very carefully the greenery, because some of this can bite you. It's got really big time thorns. Then you want to take off out of the outer edges anything that looks a little abused, beat up, because you want it to look really fresh, okay? So then you're going to take this and you're going to cut that right on the knots. There's going to be knots all the way down. And we're going to take, with a center point, is going to be your top point. That feels a little tall to me, so I'm just going to take a little bite off at a time. Don't take off too much. You can always take off. You can never put back. So I have pre-cut some of these roses already. So if I'm going to do this around here, that still feels a little tall. So you want to keep cutting a little bit off at a time so that you can get that perfect angle. We want to make sure that you're about 1 inch to 2 inches above the foam. That would probably be your perfect length. Then I'm going to take these all the way across. Let's do this. You can even take it out and measure it if you want, so it's kind of even. I just kind of eye it as I go, but I'm going to take this one and push that right down next to it. Let's go a little bit closer. I want to make sure that we tighten these in tight. I'm going to use these beautiful plain pink ones on the outside. Even put those in at an angle would be beautiful. So we're on number 3. Let's go to number 4. I'm going to push that down at an angle again because I want this to be tight. And I'm doing a straight line here. I know there's going to be some florists watching me going, oh, that's not how you do it. This is how I do it. So now we have our beginning little arch here. Now from here, we're going to start filling in. Remember, you want to make sure that your numbers are odd numbers, not even. 2, 4, 6, 7. We have 7, not 8, not 6, okay? Now what I'm going to do is take this next row. This is going to be a little shorter, and I'm going to go in between each of these. And you'll see once we get done how absolutely beautiful this is going to be. I feel like I need to exchange this one for this one. And as you start doing this, you will see, like you'll start to go, oh, maybe not that, maybe this. Let me just tell you, anything that you love works. Don't feel like get all caught up and I can't do that. It doesn't look like that. You keep moving those roses around or flowers around until you love it. That's what's most important. And you know, if you've heard me say any of this before, I'm gonna say it a million times. The fact that you're trying is the most important part. You can do anything you set your mind to. All right, now we're gonna go to the front. These are gonna be a little bit shorter. I'm gonna tell you, I'm already panicking about the amount of water that's in here. I'm ready to put way more water in here. If you have these in a vase of any type or a container, you gotta change the water out like every 2 or 3 days. But for this, I would make sure that you add water to this probably every 2 or 3 days as well. Look how beautiful this is starting to look. The center needs to be a little taller than everybody else, and then you start building down from there. So as you're looking at this, you might think, oh, that needs to go down. Like I can feel like this one's sticking out too much. So I'm just gonna cut that one a little bit more. And I'm gonna just shove that down in there. Okay, so there you go. Here is the flower arrangement that looks like a pro did it. All right, I just steamed this tablecloth a little bit. You wanna go down with the tablecloth first. It is all about layers. Don't forget that. Layer, layer, layer. You cannot layer enough. Layers make all the difference in the world. This is one of my favorite pieces that I own. Everything will be linked in my Amazon store. You can go shopping for all of it and do exactly what I have or make up your own. But first we're gonna take this and just lay it down. I'm gonna make this right down the center. Now this is not long enough to go all the way across and be full. So I'm gonna let it go down here and then I'm gonna start it again on this side. We're gonna take this and go down on this side, and then I'm gonna take this and go all the way back around here. Why? Because I like things to be chunky and layered. So we can just lay that there. That is gonna be great. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set the place settings. Now this is gonna be for a party of 6 that I'm having here. So the theme, of course, is pink because it's Galentines and we're girls and we love pink things. So I'm gonna set this up. Now I want you to see this. This has been in my storage. It's got like a fold on it. I'm gonna take this and steam it in just a few minutes. But for now, I'm gonna just show you how to set this out. Let's take this one and I'm gonna go right on top of this on this one, because by the time we put everything on it, it's not gonna matter. Next are my beautiful chargers. I love these so much. I'm gonna place those right there on top of that. Another layer. That is what makes all the difference, are the layers. Next are my beautiful plates. I love these plates so much because they've got all the different beautiful pastels in them, but we're just gonna put those down there. I will tell you, one thing that is so important to me is a beautiful place setting, because it sets the tone for when your guests arrive and when they get to sit down at their space. It just feels so beautiful and it just communicates that you've actually taken the time to love on them. Next, I'm putting the little accessory plates that go in the center of this just for an extra layer. This would be known as an appetizer plate. It is a lot smaller than a dessert plate, but it really doesn't matter. You can use it for anything you want. Also, I know that you probably already know this, but this is not to eat on. This is just a very beautiful layer to add to your table. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is my linen napkins. I'm gonna take this, let me show you how to fold this. We're gonna fold it in half this way, then fold it in half again, and then fold it in half again, that way. So it's a longer side. Now you wanna take the folded side, the nice and neat folded side, and that wants to be on the outside. We're gonna take the side that has all of the openings, and we're gonna put that in underneath the charger. Another option is take your napkin to the center and then just run that through a napkin ring, and then you can just set that right on top of your plate. Okay, so those are your two options, either fold it onto the left or a ring on top. So we're gonna go on to the next step. So what we're gonna do is start with the fork on the left, the knife on the right. Make sure that you take that jagged edge and put it in on the inside. Next, if you do serve soup, you want to take your soup spoon and put it to the right of the knife, and your dessert spoon is going to go up above the plate. Next, you're going to put your cute pink glass just to the top right-hand corner. Next, we're going to take our beautiful flower arrangement that we just learned how to make. Next, I'm going to take the candle holders and I'm going to start kind of creating the candle holders around the arrangement. And of course I have these beautiful pink and white, and I'm just going to kind of figure out kind of my flow here. Baby's breath arrangements will go beautiful there. Remember I talked about how it should be in a V or an angle? We're going to do a V here. We're going to take these baby's breath and we're going to have them a little taller so it's kind of going down to the center. And the other thing you want to remember is when you're sitting down, you got to be able to look over to see the person in front of you. So let's make sure that we have that there. You can see here that I'm starting up here, and then we're going to kind of go downward. But in the center, I would love to put some little votives here that are in glass jars so that we don't have any fire issues. And then I'm going to take these. You see I have that one there. I think I'm going to come diagonal and put another one here. So that's diagonal. And I'm going to put another one just here, I believe. And I always wait until about 10 minutes before everybody gets here before I light all the candles, because I really want it to feel so beautiful when people walk in. So these are some little butter dishes I found on Amazon, but I've also found different ones at little antique shops. And I just fill this with butter and I close it, and I'll put one for every 2 people at the table. I love it so much because it's just another service from me to them, so that they don't have to keep passing the butter all the way around the table. So we're just going to put one nestled in right up here. I love filling these centerpieces with different fun items. So this is a third one I made, and I'm not needing it on this table, so I might put it in my bathroom next to my sink. I can also leave it to put it on the actual buffet that I'm going to use to set some of the desserts on, or set some of the beverages on, or the food. And so if you did make some extra arrangements that just don't fit, don't try to put them in there. I would just use them in different places where everybody's going to be gathering.